Now the latest from ITV News Meridian with Sangeeta Barbara and Fred Dinage.
Good evening and welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines here in the south. Waiting in agony with a broken leg. But why did an ambulance fail to arrive for this 6-year-old boy?
Sold, one of the South Coast's most iconic attractions. But who's bought it and how much did it cost?
Airfare revolution, why your long-haul flights could soon be much cheaper. And
Britain's Got Talent is back. We catch up with the judges to find out who to look out for and who's wearing the trousers. Very high-waisted ones. Good evening. A mother from Portsmouth says she's disgusted after her 6-year-old son was forced to endure an agonising 3-hour wait for an ambulance that never turned up.
Zayden Ward broke his leg while climbing a fence in a park. His mum, Michelle, phoned 999 and was told there was a 30-minute wait. 5 phone calls and 3 hours later, they were still waiting, so they asked a relative to take them to the QA hospital instead.
Well, the ambulance service has since apologised. Richard Jones takes up the story.
Zayden has a very particular way of describing how much pain he was in when he broke his leg.
It hurt to 10. Or 1 to 10.
So out of 10, it hurt 10. So that's a lot.
He'd been climbing over a fence at a play area near his home when he was hurt. His mum called 999 and was told an ambulance would be there within half an hour. She didn't want to move him herself because she feared doing more damage to his leg. But as the time ticked by, she became increasingly desperate as she told the ambulance service.
I said, I need someone to help me because I was sat there holding his leg up on the floor with him. He was just in a lot of pain. There was not even a first response to come to us for our aid. Now I thought obviously they would come first before an ambulance, if an ambulance couldn't attend, to make that patient comfortable. Had nothing for 3 hours.
In the end, she gave up waiting and asked her brother to drive them to the emergency department at Queen Alexandra Hospital, where Zayden's leg was put in a cast. He's now on the mend, but will be out of action for up to 2 months. South Central Ambulance Service has apologised to Zayden and to his mum. It's blamed the long delay on a number of factors, including high demand for its services, ambulances being held up at hospitals, and staff shortages and sickness. Richard Jones, ITV News, Portsmouth.
In other news, a murder investigation has been launched in Basingstoke after a man was found injured in a street and later died in hospital. Police were called to Benham Road in Popley at 5:30 this morning. The victim has not yet been named. A 22-year-old man from Basingstoke has been arrested on suspicion of murder.
An amateur boxer has been jailed for 4 years for killing a man during a scooter rally at a Dorset holiday park. David Coxon, who was 36, died at Samford Holiday Park near Poole last month. He was punched by 41-year-old Jason James, who's from Devon. He admitted manslaughter.
Closing speeches have been taking place in the trial of a man accused of attacking a woman with acid in Southampton. Mother of 6, Carla Whitlock, was left blind in one eye after the attack in Guildhall Square last September. 22-year-old Billy Midmore denies causing grievous bodily harm with intent. His brother has pleaded guilty. The case will resume on Monday.
There's a warning about fraudulent websites claiming to deal with blue badge parking permits. West Sussex County Council has received complaints from people who've paid excessive amounts rather than just £10 to cover the application.
Well, it is, of course, one of the South's most famous seaside attractions, and with 6 million visitors a year, it's one of the most popular. Today it was announced Brighton Pier has been sold for £18 million.
Yes, the Grade 2 star-listed pier went on the market for the first time in 25 years back in 2011, but was withdrawn the following year. The new owner is called the Eclectic Bar Group and headed up by ex-Pizza Express entrepreneur Luke Johnson.
So then, what does the future hold for the landmark with its 350 arcade machines and 62,000 light bulbs? John Ryle has been finding out.
Well, this pier's been here for 117 years. It's one of 57 in the UK, and it's reckoned that this may well be the best maintained and the most prosperous. And the hope is that the deal that's been signed today means it has a highly secure future. Well, I'm joined by Anne Martin, who's been manager here for a number of years, and you're staying in post with the new owners.
That's right.
They have a background in restaurants and running bars. This is quite a departure for them. What's it going to mean for the future of the pier?
I think the future of the pier is very secure. And yes, Eclectic's background is bars and restaurants, but Luke Johnson, the chairman, has a wide variety of interests. And most importantly for us, hugely committed to Brighton. He already owns several businesses in the city, and we see nothing but a very bright future.
Now, with some 4 million visitors last year, £3 million profit, what's the potential for growth? What's the ambition for the pier now?
There's always potential for growth. Over the last 30 years, we've focused on growing and developing the pier. And I think with joining with Eclectic, with their experience on bars and restaurants, I think we will continue to grow the pier. We're always looking for new and interesting things. We have done over the last 30 years, as I said, and we'll continue to do so.
Now we can see the I-360 taking shape a little way along the coast. That's a threat, isn't it, to your revenues?
No, we welcome the I-360, the same as we welcome anything that comes to the seafront. Anything that brings visitors to Brighton is good for the pier, so we welcome them.
Okay, Anne, thanks very much indeed. Well, the contracts have been signed, the new owners are in place. There's still some financial work to do though, because £8 million needs to be raised through shares, and the balance needs to be raised through a debt financing arrangement with the banks.
John Ryle there reporting from Brighton. In other news, in Southampton's Centre for Seafarers, which opened 130 years ago, will close in 3 weeks' time. The centre allows sailors to phone loved ones after months at sea and has a chapel and offers counselling from port chaplains. But managers say it's no longer viable as only 1 in 50 visitors to the port now use it.
For the first time in nearly 50 years, the first timetable passenger trains have run over 4 miles of restored railway towards Wareham. As part of the Steam Gala weekend, there'll be 4 trains a day from Swanage running over the newly installed Norton Gates level crossing and onto the River Frome. From next year, trains are scheduled to run to Wareham, reconnecting the Swanage Railway with the main line to London for the first time in decades.
Real excitement, you know, the culmination of a 40-year struggle to reinstate the Swanage Railway back to Wareham. Today is a big step forward on that journey. It's quite inspirational, really, yeah, to get to these significant steps. First running to Corfe Castle, today's big step forward in running up the line, and it sets us up well for next year, I'm sure, with our Wareham service.
You're watching ITV News here in the Meridian region. Coming up,
It's Grand National Weekend, but will the local horse Many Clouds blur up a storm for the bookies? Who's your favourite?
and for more on all of our stories, just go to itv.com/Meridian. You can give us a call on 0808 1010 095 or get in touch via Facebook or Twitter at ITV Meridian.
Low-cost flights to long-haul destinations would never work. That was the claim when they recently started operating at Gatwick for the first time in 40 years.
But tonight we can reveal not only have 500,000 passengers used the new budget services, many more are on the way.
So, why is it working? Can it last? And how much can you save? Our transport correspondent Mike Pearce has this exclusive report.
According to some, taking a low-cost flight long distance would never work.
It's very, very difficult to make long-haul low-cost work, and the history of long-haul low-cost has not been great.
Gatwick was the home of 2 low-cost airlines in the 1970s. But famously, Freddie Laker failed and his transatlantic airline went bust. But now Norwegian have this week been celebrating carrying 500,000 long-haul passengers in less than 2 years. The budget carrier now has 7 long-haul destinations from the Sussex airport.
It saves a lot of money. I mean, we can spend a lot more when we're out there rather than have to spend money on the flight to get out there in the first place, so it's a definite advantage.
The other carriers, your likes of Virgin, British Airways, will say if you add on the extras like the bags, the food, the drink, is there much of a difference?
Oh, there still is, absolutely. I mean, we can, with the bag included, I think we're paying still a lot less than we would be with other carriers.
But be prepared for a new flying revolution. WestJet, British Airways and Air Canada all want a slice of the action, with a range of cheap fares to a record 20 new long-haul destinations in the next few months, including America, Canada and the Caribbean. It's reported Virgin are also looking at its own budget long-haul operation.
Well, why do you think it's been so successful? Because, you know, they were saying it wouldn't work.
Well, giving passengers what they want, which is low-cost opportunity to travel around the world, and choice of which airline to fly and which airport they can fly from.
And so the big question is, how do the new operators make it work? Well, to begin with, they fly planes like the Dreamliner, which burns 25% less fuel, so there's a saving there. Generally, their overheads are less because they're newer companies. And finally, fares are realistic. There are no £1 fares, but they price so they can still make enough profit.
So how much cheaper is it? We found return economy tickets on Norwegian from Gatwick to New York from £300. A comparable fare on American Airlines was £440 from Heathrow. WestJet return from Gatwick to Toronto we found at £340. The cheapest Air Canada fare from Heathrow for similar flights was £432. All airlines have deals, so it's worth shopping around, and the full-service carriers include a checked bag, food and drinks. But it seems the new breed of long-haul for low-cost carriers are becoming a force determined to stay. Mike Pearce, ITV News, Gatwick.
Well, there's not only been a boom in budget airlines, but apparently a sonic boom too.
Well, you may have heard a very loud bang if you were in Oxfordshire at around 3:45 this afternoon. It was caused by the shockwave from 2 jets that were travelling faster than the speed of sound. So now you know.
Sport now, Chris Morn and the National Lottery.
Yes, Fred, a grand national lottery, yes indeed. The big Aintree meeting is well underway. This afternoon, Dorset trainer Colin Tizard had another winner, with Native River here coming home in front. But tomorrow is the big day. The bookmakers expect record takings, with tens of millions being wagered on the 40 horses. And last year's winner, Many Clouds, is the favourite. Pictured here on his return to Lambourne after winning 12 months ago, the 9-year-old is aiming to become the first horse since Red Rum to win back-to-back nationals. If he succeeds, Leighton Aspel would become the first jockey ever to win 3 nationals in a row.
That side of it, I've got to just put to the back of my mind and deal with it afterwards if it happens. And I think he's got a favourite's chance. Only carrying £1 more, you know, he's not stacked with 20, £25 more. You know, it's well within his compass, and hopefully with some good luck on the way around, we'll be thereabouts.
So the Oliver Sherwood trained Many Clouds is the favourite. A couple of others to look out for. The Last Samurai and the Druid's Nephew are well fancied. Triolo de Lane is trained in Lambourne by Nicky Henderson, and Pendra at Chipping Norton in Oxfordshire is a 66-to-1 shot. Well, Many Clouds won't suit the cricketers this weekend as the new county championship season gets underway. Hampshire hope for more than survival in the top flight. They open against Warwickshire at the Ageas Bowl on Sunday. Surrey play at Trent Bridge, while Sussex, who want to bounce straight back to Division 1, start at Northampton. Sarah Gom has our report.
ITV Meridian Sports Report, sponsored by WeWantAnyCar.com, the Cash for Cars website.
Securing Division 1 status was a close-run thing for Hampshire last season. Few expected this side's battle to extend to a final day win, and this year they're aiming much higher than mere survival. Their bowling attack is strengthened with the addition of England international Rhys Topley from Essex.
It's a very ambitious club, and obviously they're just a very good bunch of lads, and they showed tremendous character staying up last year, which I think is a massive thing in sport, and if you can have that in your team, you can achieve a lot.
Rhys, along with teammates James Vince and Liam Dawson, are fresh from England duty at the World T20, landing back on home soil earlier this week.
Always trying to learn off each other, you know, go into a different environment and speak to different people about about their game, and so always trying to pick up different things, and hopefully we can come back here and share the knowledge and other people can start learning off us as well.
And along the south coast, as the covers are removed from the outfield at Hove, so too are any memories of the struggles of last season that saw Sussex narrowly relegated from cricket's top flight. There's an optimism here led by a new guard. Luke Wright steps up to take the captaincy in all 3 formats, and Danny Briggs is added to the bowling attack, having made the move from neighbouring Hampshire.
It's a new challenge, but also from my point of view as captain, you take on a side that are younger, we're willing to learn as well because of what happened last year. And I think most of the guys, if not everyone, looks like they've come back really strong and look like they've improved. But I suppose we'll see now as we get started to the games.
Sarah Gom, ITV News.
Well, if the cricket's starting, we must be close to crunch time in the football season. Bournemouth could relegate Aston Villa from the Premier League tomorrow, while Shane Long returns for Southampton, who could push Newcastle closer to the drop at St Mary's. Brighton don't play their championship match at Nottingham Forest until Monday. Reading, victors over Forest in midweek, are at home to Birmingham City. Swindon have suspended 3 of their own players for allegedly inhaling laughing gas ahead of their League One trip to Bradford. Oxford United and Portsmouth continue their promotion challenges in League Two. Pompey away to the bottom club. And after their Wembley defeat, Oxford strive to get back on track at Crawley.
They're safe in the league, they're not going for nothing, so that could be a bonus for us, but may not be. But we'll get our focus back and we'll do all we can to get the 3 points at Crawley.
And finally from me, good luck to Fran Kirby from Reading, who plays for the England women against Belgium this evening. That's our sport.
Chris, thanks very much. Well, cricket, football, the Grand National, plenty to look out for this weekend, including Britain's Got Talent.
Yes, it's back on our screens tomorrow night, but who will have what it takes to secure a place at the Royal Variety Performance?
Well, David Walliams already set the bar high with his impression of Simon Cowell.
Yes, here he is at the show's launch in London yesterday. We can hardly tell the difference.
I can.
Not much. Well, Divya Kohli was also there to catch up with the judges and find out who we need to look out for.
Well, no offence to the boys, Simon and David, but I thought we'd have a little girly chat.
Yeah, why not? Forget the boys, they smell.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Do you look after each other as a girls?
Yeah,
we
I
do.
think we do. We've got each other's backs because we are the jam in that really big bloomer sandwich.
Yes, I like
metaphor, yeah.
We're the jams.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain you drive.
For me, when Alicia joined, it was so much more relaxing because I had someone I could be vulnerable with.
Yeah.
You know when you're having a bad day and you're like, oh my God, Alicia, do I look fat? Do I look fat? Or is my mascara?
You have those days?
Oh God, come on!
Really?
And I'm always like, is my eyelash hanging off? Tell me the truth. And then we say, should we put our slippers on for the second half?
Yes.
And we come down and we've got our slippers on under.
Yes.
It's so much nicer.
It's nice.
It's more relaxing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Girls are known to cry. You have those moments where you're really happy,
She's had 'em.
terrified, but then those moments that really get you like, Bo.
She is an incredible girl, and I'm so glad that her audition came over well, because in the theatre you just go, oh, this is incredible, and then when you actually see it and it is even better. But she had so much talent. But you've been more emotional this series than any other series.
Yeah, surprisingly.
How do you stop yourself?
Well, I didn't.
No, exactly.
This is the problem. But sometimes an act can just take you like that.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you,
you
very
much.
much.
It's great.
Thank you very much.
Divya Kohli there, and we're looking at the Grand National again now, because what have you got in the office suite
I've got
today?
the favourite. I've got the favourite, and it's called Many Clouds, which how apt with me, didn't it? But well, we've got a horse theme on the go. How do you fancy a whole load of things that look like horses?
Yes, please.
Oh, go on then.
Always popping up in my Meridian weather inbox, but here's the first one. Look, Belinda, Jen rather, emailed in, said that she could see a horse's head growing in the ivy in the picture that Belinda Carter took in Kimble in Buckinghamshire. Josie Harrop in Farnborough. That's a fence in a car park in Aldershot, whilst Tim Franks from East Grinstead I found this one whilst on a narrowboat holiday in Surrey, of all places. Joyce Alexander was visiting Perth in Australia when she spotted. That does look like one, doesn't it? All the family, by the way, it's her son she was visiting, big fans of Hal. And are you familiar with the expression, objects in the rearview mirror may appear closer than they are? Well, not in this case, Lo, for this picture from Mike Edwards. And finally, a horse-related picture. Can you spot the theme? Mel and Stu Holman were walking in the New Forest. They found this marking on the ground that looks a bit like the UK, doesn't it?
Well, it does, yes.
But what's the horse connection? Well, without the aid of a clothes peg on closer inspection, they realised it probably come out of the back of a horse to make that marking. So,
Very nice.
Sorry if you're eating your tea.
Time to move on to the weather forecast. Simon Perky Parkin.
From blizzards to pool, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Well, top job by Taylor in Banbury, who managed to spot this afternoon a funnel cloud, and the very unstable air conditions will continue as we head through tomorrow with, yes, more showers to look forward to, but also some decent dry and bright spells. But it is going to feel colder, and that's all thanks to this band of rain that's working its way eastwards through tonight. Probably arriving around 9-10, and as it pushes its way through, there will be some heavy bursts in there, but the bulk of it will have gone by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. And as it passes through, it won't be a cold night. Temperatures no lower than around 6 or 7 degrees. So bit of lingering cloud first thing tomorrow morning, but that'll break up quite nicely. Yes, some sunny spells on the go, but then we'll see the showers, and some of them will be quite perky. There could be an odd heavy one thrown in as well. A lot of dry and fine weather around those showers, but it's not going to be warm. Temperatures struggling to get into double figures. 9-10 the high tomorrow, and you will notice that breeze inland and also along the coast and around the Isle of Wight. As for the high tide times, you can see at Poole Harbour 20 past 11 in the morning, 20 to midnight, and then Sunday looking as though it's going to be a dry day, but breezy and cloudy.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Too many clouds there. Well, in just a moment we have the ITV Evening News with Alistair Stewart and Charlene White.
Sonia Mason has Outlet News, but for now, from the team here at ITV Meridian, thanks for watching. Have a lovely weekend. Let me get the national winner. Bye-bye.
See you Monday. Bye.